My 2 cents on this is that I didn't really mind the finish. I didn't hate it like some people did. I thought it was okay. It was a fine way to kick off the Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt feud, which I think could be great. And I stress could. I'm not going to say will be great, because we said the same thing about Jericho and Wyatt, and the only reason, I'm not going to say it bombed, it wasn't really as great as it could have been, because one, WWE, they limited in what they could do and say in a lot of their matches and whatnot. And then they weren't really given a lot of creative freedom with what they could do. And Wyatt, I mean, the way that he was booked at points was a little bit weird and whatever else. So I'll say this. The Wyatt and Ambrose feud has potential to be great with the promos, the matches, and whatever else. The psychotic nature of both characters that I think could make for a very interesting dynamic. I thought we could see this match at WrestleMania, but maybe they have other plans for Dean Ambrose. They probably have no idea what they're doing with Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania at this point in time. But even still, though, I think it could be a very good feud. It has the potential to be, but how WWE handles it and how they book it is a whole other thing. So, 2 things here. The finish of the pay-per-view itself, I was fine with. I didn't really mind, and it saves Ambrose and Rollins, the clean finish to that feud for another day. I understand that we didn't get a clean finish to the pay-per-view for like the second month in a row, and that does kind of anger me a little bit. We had the same thing last year, so I'm really hoping that's not the case at Survivor Series. But the thing with the Wyatt and Ambrose feud that concerns me the most is that Wyatt's back. He's looking great after all those vignettes. He's looking, rejuvenated and whatnot. The Wyatt family, or Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, are nowhere to be seen, so I don't know what the deal is with them. But the thing with Ambrose and Wyatt, and like you just said, you wanted to see Dean and Ambrose win. So the thing is with Wyatt and Ambrose is that both guys need victories. The thing with Jericho and Wyatt was that Jericho never really needed to win. He had that one win at Battleground, but that kind of established him or reestablished him as like a threat to Wyatt.
Exactly.
The thing with Wyatt and Ambrose is that Ambrose hasn't won a match on pay-per-view since like Payback when he beat Evolution. That wasn't even on his own. Wyatt hasn't. I mean, he beat Jericho at SummerSlam, but he's been so damaged since that point in time with the whole Cena crap and whatever else. Wyatt needs a win too.
Exactly. Like the Rollins thing, he can afford to lose, so he's still winning the Bank Championship.
Exactly.
Like that's like a champion can always afford to lose eventually because they have the title still. But like you said, these are 2 guys that are up and coming, and they both need wins.
Yeah. So
I feel like if Ambrose kept losing, I feel like people would just get mad. I think it would kill his credibility. I feel like Wyatt kept losing, people would be like, "This guy fucking sucks."
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think there's really 2 ways about it. I mean, you can make the argument that, like, with Daniel Bryan, when he lost all those matches for months on end last year, and granted, I mean, that wasn't really the plan to have a main event at WrestleMania. I think Jericho said himself a couple of weeks ago, he was supposed to face Sheamus at that show, and the only reason why he didn't was because Punk left, and that changed plans drastically. But even so, though, I think with Daniel Bryan, he lost so many matches that people just start to think he's a loser. But in the end, though, it made that big win at WrestleMania mean that much more. That being said, if you have someone lose for so long, they will start to perceive that person as a loser. So it really could be hit or miss, and I'm really hoping with Dean Ambrose that's not the case. What they're building him up to, I have no idea. I don't see him going after the championship at any point in the near future. I don't see Ambrose versus Lesnar being a possibility. I think Roman Reigns will be the guy to take the title off of him. There's really no one else that comes to mind, especially not John Cena. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm just interested to see how this feud goes. I think it could be great, but both guys need wins. So if they have a one-on-one match at Survivor Series, maybe they do a brawl like they did with Ambrose and Rollins a couple times. At Battleground they did it, or maybe it's a double DQ, or whatever the hell they do. Maybe it's a DQ finish.
Street fight or something.
Exactly.
I think it's something good. They can't just have a one-on-one match.
Yeah.
Like Ambrose and Wyatt would have a good, like, hardcore. Well, I can't do hardcore because they don't do that. Like, Extreme Rules match.
Yeah, exactly. It's not
Street
Extreme
fight
Rules. Yeah, give me a
like that.
break. But it's good timing, too, though, because the feud kicks off now that maybe we could see this culminate at TLC in, like, a tables match or something.
Or
weird
TLC
like that.
match alone, I don't know.
Yeah, whatever, because if Lesnar's not going to be on the show, I don't know.
I was going to say, like, also if you do, like, a hardcore match, you can just make Wyatt lose and look strong, or Ambrose lose and look strong still.
Exactly, because they don't have to be
In a
pinned.
one-on-one match, if you're pinned or tap out,
It makes you look weak. Yeah, exactly. So I think they could get away with having a tables match and having Wyatt lose there or Ambrose lose there, whatever. But I still look forward to the feud, and hopefully they can build upon that. Because like you said, the promo last night, there was nothing wrong with the promo, but that was the biggest talking point coming out of Hell in a Cell. Like, oh, like this is going to be great, or that finish shouldn't have happened, or whatever. But people are talking about Bray Wyatt. And then the next night on Raw, it's kind of like an afterthought. With everything else that happened with the main event and Randy Orton, even Ryback, more people were talking about than Bray Wyatt. And it's unfortunate because I think that feud really does have potential. So hopefully they can rebound it with that next week on Raw.